Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Good morning. This is TG McCormick with Sing the Word. I'm nuts. I'm crazy, and I admit it. But here we go. Isaiah chapter 2. Once again, we're looking for nuggets, we're looking for gold. I could never do the entire. Wait a second. Did I just say never? Ooh, God might even want me in on this one. But for now, I feel led to take care of parts of all 66 chapters in Isaiah. And what I am doing is chapter 2 today. So it's on. It's on. Enter the rock and hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and from the splendor of his majesty. The proud look of a man will be abased, and the lofty madness of man will be humbled. And the Lord alone, and the Lord alone will be exalted in that day, will be exalted in that day. And the Lord alone, and the Lord alone will be exalted in that day. Enter the rock and hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and from the splendor of his majesty. The proud look of a man will be abased, and the loftiness of man will be humble. And the Lord alone, and the Lord alone will be exalted in that day, will be exalted in that day. And the Lord alone, and the Lord alone will be exalted in that day, in that day, in that day. Oh, children, children, children. See, I'm a 62-year-old child, so I'm a children too. And I'm singing the word. And today we are, yes, on a 66 song journey. Why did I do it? Because there's so little between these ears. I just don't know. But I'm tackling this thing. And actually, I've gotten about the first 15 lyrics written now. I just haven't recorded the music, but I'll get there. Oh, the Lord alone. He stands alone. He's preeminent in all things. He is the firstborn of creation. There is none beside him. There is none like him. He is truly God of all, the Lord alone. And this section of scripture is just filled with reminders that God is God and you are not, and I am not. We are not, but he is God, and he is God alone. If you have any doubts as to the deityology of this universe, don't go any further then Elohim, Jehovah Jireh, he's God, the God of the of Israel. Trust me, there's no one else like him. And then he sends his son Jesus because we keep batting our or sorry, hitting one more time. Oh, sorry. Hitting our heads up against the wall, trying to figure out this God thing. And Jesus made it really easy. He said, "Believe in me, believe in my works, believe in my words. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father." He made it so that we stupid humans, and trust me, I know there's a lot of smart people out there, but I'm talking about in spiritual things. A lot of us are kind of bears of very little brain. And if you are a bear of very little spiritual brain, don't worry, because Jesus gives you the path, makes it really easy. Enter the rock and hide in the dust. Folks, when God comes a calling, he's not going to give you necessarily the VIP room, the green room, if you will. There won't be food baskets. There won't be gift baskets. Enter the rock and hide in the dust. Man, I'm having a bad morning. I'm sorry. From the terror of the Lord. When you see the terror of the Lord coming, you're not going to look for the comfy seats. You're going to hit the ground face down because you don't want to look at what's coming. It's a terror. Hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and from the splendor of his majesty. Now, honestly, I might like to see that, but I get the feeling that if I was shown God's splendor, I would probably still be hiding in the dust because it's man, I'm sorry I didn't bring you water. hide in the dust. God's coming. The proud look of a man will be abased. Now, I was at Caesar's Palace yesterday, and I was looking at you can't really call it life-size transformer, but I saw a thing that looked pretty tall. It was about 30 feet. And if that thing started walking towards me, I would probably be humbled pretty quickly, because if that thing was walking towards me, there's a good chance that I haven't seen a Transformer movie. I'm sorry. I showed it to one of my friends, and he knew, oh, that's Optimus Prime. I was like, Optimus who? Or Optimus who? But that is... oh, I am so... This is not going to be a good one. I apologize. Actually, I'm going to get a mute button ready here. If I need to cough again, I will. Mute. So, the proud look of a man will be abased, and the loftiness of man will be humbled. So you look at this transformer, and if it started moving and it like waved a finger gun at me, I don't know what these things are. I've never really seen the shows, but I know that you could go from a car to a monster. So that time I spared you from the cough. Oh, God's gonna come, and it's gonna be terrifying. You like horror movies? When God comes, and if you don't believe in God, that could be the horror movie that will abase you and humble you. But I just want to stop for a second. God doesn't want you to quibble in fear. That's not God's job. It's not God's job to make you feel like a snake in the dirt. That's not your lot in life. with God if you believe on him. Jesus came to this earth to clear the path because Jesus did not want anyone to grovel in the dust. That wasn't Jesus' job. Jesus' job was he came to seek and save the lost. So he's looking for us sinner type folks, and he wants to save us. That's what he wants to do. But if you reject this salvation, I have not rejected it. I have a lot of problems being a Christian. God and I are working them out. I'm not going to go into detail here. But if we reject God's provision, then we're going to be hiding in the dust. It's not going to be good. And the Lord alone, I said it twice, but it's only in there once. I just like reiterating cool things. And the Lord alone will be exalted in that day. What is that day? Well, if I haven't sent you the memo yet, Isaiah is everywhere. Isaiah is prophecy, is history, stuff that's happened, stuff that was going to happen in his time, which has already now happened, and stuff that's going to happen even in our future. So if you're not familiar with Back to the Future, don't even try to figure out what I just said, because there's history. He was reporting all this stuff like it was written history, but in fact, it happens in all the time zones prior to his life, during his life, after his life, but before our lives, and then after our lives. So there's a ton of stuff going on in Isaiah. And what is that day? He will be exalted. The Lord alone will be exalted in that day. That means that day. I'm not an eschatological scholar. I know that there is reference to in several places on that day, in that day. And I believe that's the coming of the Lord when the books are going to be shut, people are going to be judged. And I believe that is what that day is. So anyways, one more time for the song. One more cough. Hope I can make it through. Enter the rock and hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and from the splendor of his majesty. The proud look of a man will be abased, and the loftiness of man will be humble, and the Lord alone, and the Lord alone will be exalted in that day, and the Lord alone, and the Lord alone will be exalted in that day, in that day, in that day. Chapter 2 in the books. Sorry, try that again. There we go. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching, admonishing one another with psalms, hymns, spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm starting a new job and I don't know any of the schedule. I know I didn't have to be to work till 11 today, so it's kind of nice. And Lord willing, I will be here tomorrow with chapter 3. God's blessing on all of you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.